we're committed to doing the things whether we get the money or not, but this will help us get there a whole lot quicker. And some of the things we're doing in that area is a precursor to that. We have murals that have been put up on the Boys and Girls Club, on Esquire Barbershop, other buildings. We have the shipyard doing some things in that area as well. And just, this is something that the community, it's ground up. The citizens are making the plan, the people who are living it. This is not something, some great idea I thought of and doing. The community that lives there is the one that's planning this transformation, which makes it really good. As far as in the development area, we're trying to balance and preserve a lot of the city's history. Some of the things that are really great partnerships that are going on. John Biagas and his group has joined another construction company out of Richmond. So the old Whitaker Memorial Hospital, where I was born, is now being transformed to apartment living. So it's something that he says in a year they're going to be up and ready to run. So we're happy to see that. We also have sent out an RFQ, a request for proposals or qualified proposals for the Enview area. Enview is where we see the next growth of the city to do upscale housing and because in my mind we do not have sufficient housing for those who have the capabilities of living in say $500,000 homes and up. But this will be, we're looking for mixed community here as well. We're looking for great ideas for contractors to be able to come and share their vision with us, what they would like to develop that property to be. Ferguson Enterprises, we're very pleased that they have decided to stay here. This is their home city. They are doing an $83 million expansion, which will save 1,000 jobs, so they will be moving from the Sherwood area to the city center. It will also be a creation of 400 and some plus jobs, new jobs over the next few years. It'll be eventually 3 buildings. They're starting first with 1 building, and the city is building a garage in that area. The shipyard is leasing 85,000 of the 100,000 square foot building at Brooks Crossing. That's right there at 28th Street in Jefferson. There are going to be 600 designers and engineers there in that building. The ground floor is going to be open, 15,000 square feet, for people to showcase what other jobs that they do at the shipyard. It's not just about welding and rigging. There's a lot of technology that's going on there in the shipyard, and we're trying to get people to understand that these jobs require certain certificates and get them interested in the shipyard is itself interested in hiring new people. Muehlbauer, if you're not familiar, everybody familiar with Muehlbauer Company? Okay, it's a diamond here that very few people know about. If you look at your credit card, there's a chip in your credit card. That's done here in Newport News. They are a security company. They have a showroom. Their minimum wage is $15, so if your kids send them that way. They did a $12 million expansion in Oakland Park, and we're happy that they are expanding and growing. Lee Beer's doing the same thing. They're investing in Newport News. They have an expansion. That's ones that make the real big trucks. Well, they also make a lot of other things. I didn't know that they make landing gears for some planes. They do a lot of other components that they make. And it's an international company. And I met the owner and his family. They are good people that are deciding to expand here in Newport News. Fairlead Boat Works. They're doing $1 million expansion. Again, this is at the lower end of Jefferson Avenue. They're adding 25 new jobs there. There'll be small boat repair going on. We have a grant for the Seafood Industrial Park to help with that. As far as under technology, you know, everybody's vying for what's the big company that everybody?
Amazon.
Amazon.
We don't want Amazon.
We don't want
I know Amazon. You don't want it.
But our Amazon, the biggie for us is going to be Jefferson Lake. If we get behind this, it could be a potential to bring 5,000 new jobs, $72 million in annual local spending. It would have almost a $4 billion impact on the region. We're talking about particle physics in the next 20 years of where experimentation will take place in this field. So the big event that we needed was last month when the science community decided, yes, this is what we want the next 20 years of our Department of Energy, to invest money in experimentation. There are only 2 labs that can qualify to do this. One is in Brookhaven, New York, and ours. So you'll be hearing more about that, getting this region to get behind this push so that we can get this grant that will really put us on the map. Just think of, we already have probably 1/3 of the nuclear physicists in the world come through and do experimentation in Jefferson Lab. This will be even bigger. We have the Applied Research Center right next to that. So that new technology that's developed and the experimentation that comes out of that to transform that into manufacturing products and new ideas, that's what the tech center is about. They will have office space, 1 million square feet of office space to be able to help with that. We have a smart cities initiative, collaborative efforts to try and use this data that we're able to gather to make our roads smoother, lights, parking spaces, all these things. There is an eventual plan as these new products are developed. How can we take this data information? How can we take the statistics about crime and inculcate them into where we need to place our forces, how we need to design to be proactive in prevention of crime, to build businesses and stealing cars, all the things that she just talked about we want to stop in the city. We have some groundbreaking sensors that we put up because we're a flood zone area in some areas, so there's sensors there that we can predict where monitor and predict the flood tides. So this is all part of the Smart Cities Initiative as well. As far as the plan for the Denbigh and Warwick area, the city has adopted a One City, One Future 2040 comprehensive plan. We're developing a plan for the Denbigh-Warwick area to stimulate economic and investment activity. So one of the things we're doing is trying to create property ownership so that we can have parcels big enough for investors to want to invest into the area. When you look at Brooks Crossings, that's I think the acreage, maybe 26 acres. It took us about 10 years to develop, to get enough property for someone to say, okay, that's big enough, that's where I want it to be able to develop. So we're doing this volunteer buyback plan on property in this area as well, so that we will be able to develop that area. There's a Denbigh-Warwick survey that's posted on the city website, and we're asking that you respond to that as well. You have it there? Great.
It's on this flyer that's on the table that's all put out.
As far as our schools, we have a new superintendent, and he's in I think he's calling it a 100-day listening period. We expect some great things to come out of our schools. Our advanced placement courses and are very good. Our schools offer early college program that allows seniors to take up to 19 semester hours for college credit before they graduate. And like I said, later this morning, I'll be joining the school division to celebrate their Department of Defense STEM office grant that's part of the National Math and Science Initiative. So that's why I got that shot in here. But I do want to leave some time for questioning, so I'm trying to rush through what I have. As far as public safety, you know, the new chief is here, Steve Drew. We have, since he has been here, in a period where you normally, the third period, where you normally see a growth and a spurt over the summer period in crime, we have actually dropped 8% in crime throughout the city. And I'd like to applaud him. I'd like to also applaud those for the changes, those who have to do the changes. We're back focusing on community policing. Everybody has their own idea of what community policing is. I think we overview on what that is, and with the city manager and hiring him, I think we're on the right path to continue for a safer community. It does not matter our economic plan or what we're planning if people don't feel safe in the city. That's our #1 priority. And we're, I think, on the right trend and the right track to be able to do that, where people can feel safe, have responses from their complaints, and start to solving the crimes that do occur in a timely manner. So we were really feeling real good about that. We have the STEP program this year is celebrating their 5th year. We have 1,900 youth earn more than $2 million in wages over the past 5 years. I want to thank those companies that have allowed these students to come in and see what it is, what work is about. The city pays for them. You don't have to pay for them. You just volunteer for them to come into your shop and see what work is about. We have launched a Newport News NN alert for residents and businesses to use during the Hurricane Florence. We were very well prepared. Thank God that hurricane did not hit us, so we would be not here today. We would still be shoveling out our living rooms and with water. The fire department has launched Pulse Point, which is a mobile app for those of you who are trained, those of us who are trained in CPR. So if someone is near having a heart attack, that app will go off, and those of us who know how to do CPR can respond to that area. AEDs are in the area, so the first thing is to make sure that the AED is there. One of the blessings that we have in our department is all of our fire people are MTechs. So every fireman you see is trained in CPR, first aid. That involves a lot of money in the training. A lot of people try and steal our firemen because of that. So, but it's a good thing for you to know that we have that. We are committed to strong neighborhoods. We enjoy the fact that we have Hilton is celebrating its 100th anniversary. Fort Eustis is celebrating its 100th anniversary. In development, we have Patrick Henry Place, Huntington Point, Venture Apartments, and Bremen Point. These are all newer developments for housing. We've also started a residential rental property inspection program, starting more in the southeast where we have a lot more rental property, so that we make sure that the houses or the apartments that are being rented are up to code and people are living in a safe environment. As far as tourism, in 2017, tourism generated $307 million in revenue. It supports 3,000 jobs and has brought over, figure out like $10 million in taxes to the city. So that's one area where we have capital that we can do some things with coming from tourism. As a matter of fact, tonight we have the grand opening, official opening of the new Holiday Inn, or the old Omni. That's going to occur, and some of us will be there to welcome them, what we're calling our new Pearl and Oyster Point. As far as arts and culture, we know about the Fall Festival, Celebration of Lights, which is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to have the big fireworks this year, the one-day event. Instead, we're going to have 25 days of lights. There will be something going on in City Center the whole month of December. We also will be celebrating our 5th year of the marathon, and we're adding to that a half-mile marathon for those of us who don't wish to die. Just remind me, are you running around? Like, do you know what happened to the first person? Do you know why he's 26.2 miles? That's where he dropped dead. It's amazing though. The one guy, 1 year, he ended 2 years ago his 75th marathon. Wow. Yeah. So, Tech Center, we're having new businesses and restaurants bring customers throughout our region, and we have also concerts in both City Center and Port Ward. So that leaves us for 5 minutes for questions, and thank you for allowing me to just give you a broad view. I also invite you, the State of the City will be October the 30th at the Marriott. always invite people to come and join that. I think it's gonna be pretty good this year. We're gonna always have a pretty good event to do.